What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So, Star Wars Rebels, we're still waiting for the mid-season to come out. They just released a trailer for the final season. So this is like the last part of the final season of Star Wars Rebels, which, but honestly, like it has gotten better and better and better and better the longer it's gone on. Start of the season, I don't think it has had the same sort of impact that what the first part of season 3 had, which was, you know, Thrawn coming in, like, you know, a legendary character being brought into the new canon. So it'll be interesting to see how they wrap up for this season, how they wrap it up, and where they put these characters in the whole, you know, for Star Wars lore to come. What do they do with them? So let's check it out. Let's see what they got. 3, 2, 1, go. Lucasfilm.
I've learned so much.
The flashbacks.
About life. About being a good person.
Season 1, man. It was rough. Season 1 was rough.
You guys, I'd be back on the Thal just waiting to be rescued, like everyone else.
Season 2 got a heck of a lot better. Got a lot better.
Never been like everyone else.
And then 3 got... It's like probably the best so far.
What exactly am I looking for? Nothing and everything. That doesn't help.
Trust
The mole
yourself.
stuff was cool.
Trust the Force.
I could see what they were thinking.
You must have established a deep connection with them. The Force is trying to tell you something.
He's like a Beastmaster. Which is kind of cool. Oh, the clones.
We have hope. Hope that things can get better.
I like Rex. I think Rex is kind of
And they
cool.
will.
Is it wrong for me to protect my friends?
How did I choose?
Oh, that Yoda looks so weird, man. It looks very weird.
Fighting for the people. It won't be easy. We can't back down just because we're afraid. That's when we need to stand the tallest.
Your voice started something. That something has grown bigger than I ever imagined.
Come on, show me something here. Show me
Let's go
something.
get Hera.
Here we go.
You're in terrible trouble.
Yo, is that Kanan?
I've seen you before.
I have to tell you something.
Oh,
Your
Kanan.
hair.
New look for Kanan. I mean, I like this mask, but that's cool.
Full-scale bombardment of the city.
Oh.
Ezra, mine at last.
Ho ho! Emperor?
I know what we have to do now. One last lesson.
Dude, he's like controlling the wolves and stuff. I dig that. I got goosebumps, man. That's cool. February 19th, I'll be there. I'll be there, man. Whew. I mean, like the first part, big recap. And I mean, they're gonna do that because this being the finale. This is leading up to the finale that, you know, and it looks like it's all gonna be on Lothal. It's all gonna be on Lothal. All the end of this, the whole thing. I don't think we'll see them go anywhere else. This is just gonna be where it is. New look for Kanan. New look for Kanan. I mean, we've seen him, you know, when we first seen him, you know, kind of typical, kind of haphazard Jedi. Always had the ponytail and the beard and stuff like that. Then obviously when he got blinded, he put the mask on and stuff and all that. So that was cool. But dude, like I dig the new look. I think like that's taking him to you know, it's showing him evolving as a character, which I quite like. You know, visually, I guess. But he has evolved along the way. He's gotten more confident at being a master. He's gotten kind of more confident in himself. And then obviously, like in the last part of this season, you know, the wolves are talking to him, and like the wolves saying his last name, like Caleb Doom. You know, I thought they were saying Doom, but they're saying Doom, which was kind of cool. I like how we're getting these force-sensitive creatures. Like these Loth wolves which is, and like and the Loth cats are acting through the Force as well, like the white Loth cat and all that. It's interesting. It's interesting that they're making Lothal something kind of centered around the Force in a way, like something very important there. There's a temple on Lothal, so it's strong in the Force there, which I quite like. And I mean, you've seen like the drawings on them, and sort of I think pretty sure like the Jedi showed some sort of early Jedi and all that. I liked it. I thought it was how they're showing off Lothal was very cool. Kind of giving a little throwing a little Force on top for it. Just not just making it this sort of imperial manufacturing planet. So that's very cool. I like how they're kind of making Ezra into like I'm assuming that those wolves are gonna help him, and he sort of has he can, because he always had this unique way of not controlling beasts, but he could see what they see, and he kind of had that connection with them, which I like as him. That's his specialty. That he's okay in the Force. He's not all that good with it, but his one thing that he's really good at is he's able to establish those connections with beasts, which I think is very, very cool. So it's kind of like Ezra the Beastmaster. Like I dig that. I'm excited for the Hera rescue. Especially, seeing, Kanan go out there and just be a badass. Like, I'm very keen to see that. And kind of, obviously seeing, Hera, we know Hera gets out because she's in Rogue One. Well, you hear her name in Rogue One. And we know Chop gets out. So it's going to be interesting to see where all these other ones fit in. I mean, Sabine could easily go back to Mandalore because we have not seen Mandalore in any of the things there. It's just with Kanan and Ezra, they're two Jedis. The two, or not, kind of, like, I would class Kanan as a Jedi. Ezra is like a Jedi. He's a Padawan, really. But that class is Jedis. They're running around with lightsabers and all that. So it's going to be to see how they can fit it into the already established lore moving forward. Because, I think, we're getting to the point now where we're getting close. We're not there yet. I think we're probably we're a few years away. Like, we've seen Luke. We saw, in the Obi-Wan scene, when Maul found him, how old Luke is. And Luke's not old enough yet. So they've got about, probably about 5, maybe 7-something years to go before New Hope and Rogue One and all that kicks off. So there is time for their legend to kind of fade. And obviously they're out in Lothal, and they're not in the major parts of the galaxy. So these rebels, and they may not be known so much. Obviously a big introduction like that. Generally these seasons they always introduce a major character in some way. They have a cameo, or they have some type of merge in with the already established characters. And they're going full on Emperor with this one. Like, they had Vader. Vader came out there. He dealt with him. Like, Tarkin kind of brought him out to sort all this stuff out. Then he did the stuff with Ahsoka and Maul, which was very cool. I loved that. Like, those ending stuff, like the end of season 2 was amazing. It was a fantastic. Like, if you have not seen an episode of Rebels and you're into Star Wars, go and see those episodes. The final thing, like, it's got Darth Maul in it, it's got Vader, it's got Ahsoka. It's very, very cool. And I loved it. I loved that stuff. But for them to go into full-on Emperor, and the Emperor himself to come out and actually, I don't know if that's a vision. I don't know if that's a vision, or he actually comes out to Lothal to deal with Ezra and Kanan. I don't know about that. I mean, he is obsessed with young, Force-sensitive children. So you could still count Ezra in that. I think he's like a young teen, so maybe. Because because that way he can kind of indoctrinate them into the Empire, use them as weapons. He is always looking for someone who may be able to challenge Vader, or to, you know, because in the comics, if you read the Star Wars comics, he like full on creates a crew of just, you know, sort of enhanced guys that, you know, wield lightsabers and stuff. There's like these twins. There's like a General Grievous version of a Mon Cal. It's a Mon Calamari. It's very weird. It's very weird what they do, but it's all to, like, the Emperor's not happy with Vader. He wants to challenge him to see that if he is truly worthy of being his apprentice. And then, obviously, you know, and with the stuff that happens with the Death Star. So, we're not at that point yet. But Sidious is always looking for someone to, you know, the next big thing, really. He's not going to just sit there and let Vader just be Vader because he thinks he's the best. He doesn't want some young upstart coming along and being more powerful than him. So, he's always looking for that. So, he goes after these young children. He goes after young Force sensitives. And we saw that in season 2, I think. And also we've seen that in Clone Wars and stuff. But yeah. Just some quick stuff. I think we saw Wolf. Wolf and the other clones. Other clone. I can't remember the other one. Looks like he shows back up because they're like fighting there. Which is cool. I mean, they got to wrap up those clones. Like, I think potentially you might see the end of Rex here. You might see the end of the actual clones themselves. Now, like, the final clones to go down. Because, remember, like, all the other clones have been decommissioned. They're done. They're either been killed off, or they've just been sent away. Because that's what Rex and Wolf and all that, you know, what happened to them. So, they'll have to wrap them up, too. So, a big final battle would... And then maybe, you know, they got to get out. They got to get out and, you know, escape. And Rex and his clone buddies may actually sacrifice themselves there. The other big thing that this season's got to wrap up is Thrawn. Where does Thrawn end up? Do they end up killing him? Because obviously they got to deal with the TIE Defenders. The TIE Defenders, I think they'll end up destroying that factory. Because, let's face it, if TIE Defenders are a thing and they're actually in, like, the you know, New Hope onwards, the ordinary TIEs would not exist, or they would be there, but they'd just be to bulk up the numbers, while, like, you know, TIE Defenders do majority of the work, and X-wings would not be able to handle them. Like, it would be a near slaughter, and it'd be unfair for the, you know, the balance would not be there. They wouldn't be able to fight them, you know, fight through the defenses of the Death Star. So clearly you're going to take that out. Where Thrawn ends up. Does he die? Does the Chimera blow up? Because Thrawn has a bigger part to play than just being an enemy, like the big bad guy in Rebels. Because he actually sets up what happens to the end of the Empire as well. Because he clearly, you know, he has a bigger role to play. And I could go into that all day, but we'll have a video for that. So yeah, that's going to be the big thing, because Thrawn clearly, we don't see him after this, which is a shame. But they could easily have him there, and they'll be like, well, he just wasn't, like, around with the Death Star stuff. He was off doing other things. So they would have to, you know, maybe, I know there's a book coming out that's about Thrawn and Vader. So maybe they might answer where Thrawn ends up after that. I don't know. But for me, out of this, just seeing this, there are, like, where does Ezra end up? Where does Kanan end up? And where does Thrawn end up? That's the major three that I need to find out. Because this is the very last one. So that's going to be interesting to see. But yeah. Alright guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll catch you next time. Peace. Bye.